Hi Vidyesh, good afternoon. Great to see you today.
Hello,
Thanks for
good
taking
afternoon,
time out
Aman.
today.
Thank you for having me on the call.
So for our listeners, our guest today is Vidyesh. He has more than 24 plus years of work experience and 16 years odd at Robert Bosch Foundation. He is currently associated as a strategic director at Shipex. He is also a faculty at Art of Living. That's something we will also like to discuss today in our course of conversation with Desh. Anything that you wish to add that I missed in the profile summary?
So let's make the discussion interesting.
Sure.
That will be good.
Yeah. So you have been a digital connoisseur per se, in based upon the profile that you have worked in. Which industry do you see is particularly taking digital transformation to new heights, specifically in India? So you have seen multiple industries. Where do you see massive transformation is happening from a digital perspective in India?
You want a standard answer or a surprised answer?
Both will do for me.
Okay, let's start with a surprised answer.
Sure.
I would say is the government of India.
Okay.
Massive digitization after 2014 has started in India.
Okay.
It has affected top line, it has affected bottom line. And
Okay.
all the PSUs which government runs, for example, take you railways, take you the MTNL, VSNL, and take it to the food industry. Everybody has adopted digitization, right? You can see the late Rajiv Gandhi, our late Prime Minister, used to say that when 15 paise is released, 1 rupee is released from Delhi, 15 paise reaches to the common man at the end. But today, by click of a button, whole 1 rupee reaches to the common man.
Yeah.
So that exceptional bottom line efficiency.
So you were talking about Jan Dhan Trinity, basically. That's been a massive digital transformation.
Absolutely true. And you see on the front of the use the GSTN platform.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Whooping 1.5 to 2 billion plus of top line revenue growth.
Yeah.
So that government has done substantially good job and is still doing. Connecting to 20 odd thousand startup ecosystem is a great thing which India has done in the past years. If you like to go to the standard answer, I would say digital affect typically two things. First is the efficiency and the productivity at the make side, and then the connectivity to the customer. Know your customer exceptionally well. Understand the psyche, understand the psychology, or understand the way customer interacts with you is a very, very vital part of digitization.
Right.
So both sides it has been affected. So you can take finance, you can take retail, you can take healthcare. These are the massive industries being affected by the digitization.
So any example out within these private industries where you see both the revenue impact as well as net profit impact due to digital transformation? Any example that comes to mind from private industries?
Yeah, I would take example of the let us say healthcare industry.
Okay.
Right. The apps which are being generally launched by the healthcare, you can connect. For example, there are now apps for the oncology patients to share their data across recommendation doctors.
Daragya Setu app.
Yes. Now this seems very very simple per se, but the ability to record and share your data confidently across two doctors or multiple doctors is a great achievement for the patients. Right. And you can maintain centralized repository. You can take some analytics on that and see what is happening, what's not happening on a trust factors.
Yeah.
Other, I would say, example is of the retail sector, how they are understood your customers really good from omni-channel perspective.
Yeah.
Right. Now, omni-channel was not available before the digital revolution, but through omni-channel, you know your customer very well. Good, and recommendation is what we really loved in Amazon or any other Indian, right? What others have bought, what I can buy. So that's the real typical gem of the digitization just happened. And the third thing with all youngsters, if they are watching this video, how do you love Spotify? Yeah. You maybe not even knowing about the Sony Sony players at all. You say, what's it? Even I told my son, I showed my old Sony. What is this, Papa? You asked me that. This is a CD player. He asked me what it does. I said, okay, let's not go to that discussion. That's the point of view of the kids which is going on. So information, how to coalesce, how to analyze and how to present it to the customers the way they really appreciate it has been the real perspective which digital transformation has brought. So we have spoken about the retail, we have spoken about pharma, finance sector.
Yes.
All banks have apps.
Yeah.
How they onboard customers. We all know we in this COVID time, I doubt anybody has really gone to bank.
Yeah.
Because everything can happen to the app.
Yeah.
Even the senior citizens have learned from their children or from their peers nearby saying that how to operate apps. It has become so easy for customer onboarding, for example, doing transactions,
Right.
and not only within the geography of this country, outside the boundaries also we can do that.
Yeah.
So digital has played a key role in improving efficiency across all aspects of our life.
So you mentioned banking. One thing that reminds me, I was in Germany for very long, and in Germany there was a app which was launched called as N26. It's a mobile
Mm-hmm.
only bank. Something like
Mm-hmm.
that has not really happened in India, where a bank works just on mobile without any branches. So banks have created their own app. That sort of transformation is still missing. What do you think about that?
Because the strata of the society which we have in India is quite differentiated as respect to the German.
Yeah.
There's a general acceptance, there's a general tendency to use technology and IT for their work in Germany. It is not so in India. For example, the Kirana shops
Mm-hmm.
which run over here, they
Yeah.
typically still go to the bank for their daily deposit of the money in the
Mm-hmm.
account and do their job. That typically happens.
Yeah.
But overall, the educated people
Mm-hmm.
who has done really go to bank. If it's a city bank,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that few years back they're charging money to come to the bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have given every digital service to you. Why do you come to bank?
Exactly.
When ICICI started declining customers' requests of front desk, and I said, no, you do it to the bank. And their apps are so beautiful. I would really comment out the ICICI app is very nice
Yeah.
to work with. Even to honest, that all banks have really good apps to work with it, and say that how easy it has made for each and individual person to carry out their banking needs seamlessly.
Yeah. I mean, I have been a customer of ICICI since 2004 when I started my first job. And I still remember even that time or even till now, there are a lot of people who are still scared of digital transactions. So there have been improvements in terms of securing these apps and making everything becoming seamless. But there are still issues in terms of people having that angst in using something like an mobile app to do their daily transactions. So
True.
that sort of thing has not disappeared completely.
True, but if you see that to more extent, if you see India as compared to America, Japan, or Germany area,
Yeah.
there are very less financial frauds at the level of a common man
Yeah.
through apps.
Yeah. True.
Whatever has happened are under different perspective,
Yeah.
which we know from what angle it has happened. But for
Yeah.
common man, it has not been cheated.
Yeah. So digital transformation, Videsh, involves few key things. One is its impact on culture, its impact on business processes, it impacts on consumer experiences as well. Another thing which is very important is how does digital transformation impacts the organization hierarchy? How do you make a lean organization setup which can work for a 21st century enterprise? Have you seen certain examples where the entire organization
Yes,
hierarchy was modified due to digital transformation?
yes. Let's go just a minute back to the basic of it. Organization, by its definition, means hierarchical.
Yeah, true.
It has to support the aspirations of the people who are in that organization,
Yeah,
and it is bound to happen.
yeah,
And data or digitization, by its own definition, means pervasiveness.
yeah,
So they are at crossroads with each other.
yeah,
Now it is the whole ability of the leader how to define the organizational structure in today's era so that for current and for future it is relevant. For example, now few of the majors like I work with Bosch or AT&T or Walmart, if you can see, what they have done is that they have centralized the innovation departments
okay,
so that the communication is standard or one place, and the whole business is to say the innovation cycle is visible to the whole business.
hmm, okay,
So this the question in front of this measures is how to maximize the innovative efforts across the organization.
Yeah.
because data is bringing massive disruptions, and players who are not existing yesterday are coming into the ecosystem and disturbing you.
Yeah.
So big responsibility of the leaders of the big organization is how to maximize the innovation effort at all levels of the organization. And one of the approach which are selected by the leaders is centralize your innovation efforts. So there will be innovation centers open at the head office or at a common place where people across the globe go and do innovation.
Okay.
On the other side, if you see the organization which are really customer facing, like banks or something, the banks are the way they are transforming like is that they have dismantled the traditional structure, even though the way the office looks like.
Yeah.
So they have created small teams which is cross-functional,
Yeah.
which are able to come together in the moment of time and then able to launch a product which their customer department or the marketing departments have communicated to them or the data has told to them. They quickly make the product and they disengage also the way they are required. So this type of is happening with which are exceptionally customer facing. They have to be. Actually, all organizations need customer facing, but you don't need all departments to be customer facing.
Right.
Correct. So this type of two changes which are happening in the industry, one centralization of your innovation efforts for giants like MNCs, because you have to balance both the balls, the aspirations at the same time relevance.
Yeah.
And then the other side which comes an organization which are smaller, which are quite flat in structure. But my personal opinion which I have seen across is that if you have a technology expertise, better keep your organization flat.
Okay.
But if you can convert your expertise into a capability, then you can go into an organization. I mean to say that when we upload a video or a photo on a Facebook,
Yeah.
millions of billions do it every day,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah.
But every video is scanned against the obscene content or the not so intended content.
Yeah.
This is a great capability of technology capability which we really overlook. Across every video being loaded by millions is scanned.
Yeah.
So if we have developed such a capability on the basis of technology, it's good to have an organization which has a hierarchy, because on this capability then you can develop different verticals and people can fulfill their aspirations as product managers, senior product managers like that.
Yeah.
But when it is just at a basic technological level, it's good to come together as a cross-functional and uh, um, fulfill the objectives of the organization.
So you mentioned centralization of innovation. What I specifically feel is if you have more decentralized innovation, wherein you have different varies of power centers where innovation can happen, but have a centralized innovation center which helps in scaling up or taking the innovation to the market, that should help. But innovation should not be centralized because you shouldn't be dependent on one entity in an organization. I as a person should be able to innovate when I need help to take this to market or letting it scale up. Then I need some place, some SME who can help me in taking it to the market. So what do you feel?
You are absolutely right. To be honest, by definition, innovation is very personal.
Yeah.
If you remember zero distance being started by Vishal Sikka, that you can innovate at your desk.
Yeah.
Everybody can innovate.
Yeah.
So innovation is very, very personal.
Yeah.
But those who are very high impacting innovations, which needs investment. For example, let us say you are working, automotives are working on the without driver. I mean to say, driverless mobility.
Yeah.
It is not a game of 1 day or 2 day or 1 or 2 years.
Sure.
Since last a decade they are working, but yet no solution is in sight.
Yeah.
Such big things require centralized effort, but which are very tactical, which are at just in front of you, which you know it very well, that you can innovate in your specific departments. That budget should
Sure.
be allowed.
Sure. So organization hierarchy, you did mention about a little bit around becoming more productized rather than projectized. Is it
True.
happening across big organizations or as well as along startups too, which are at the frontier of innovation?
Which area you are in depends. So if you are a service sector, of course, not happening for you. But manufacturing organizations having a great service department are going into product. Every automotive, for example, they have a product in the service category, right? Customer care problem. You can
Yeah.
call them through an app. You can order your implements to the app. That is available. But for a IT side service organization, you need to be on the projects. And product is something which is not as easy as doing an application development.
Yeah.
Product needs a really great perspective, really great understanding of the market, and a very succinct why. Then only the product lasts. Otherwise, I have personally seen 10 startups coming every, I would say, in a unit of time, and 9 are closing.
Okay. But do you see there is spawning of at least a productized innovation that's happening in India, even if the setup is not in terms of a product setup, but there is spawning of product organizations which are creating digital products and digital assets. So at least that is spawning at a faster rate. Like you said, 9 might be failing, but there is a growth in these startups.
This is the only thing which is happening on the other side.
Yeah.
Why 10 are coming? Because there is a requirement for 10 to come.
Exactly.
But when you enter into the market without understanding it, and then the question comes, how do you keep your relevance intact? So two things are there, that products, because once digital means you have to have connectivity to your end customer. I'll give one classic example to one step back here. The digital marketing strategy of the GE engines, which they manufacture for aircraft, is B2C.
Okay.
You and me, we do not buy aircraft engines.
Yeah.
But their digital marketing strategy is still B2C. Why? Because their CEO or their head, he tweets, or he or she tweets that welcome to new engine, which is 10% more economical, it's 10% less carbon generation. And then they work with the airframe manufacturer, for example, Airbus or Boeing, whatsoever company, and together they do marketing so that they encourage people to take an eco ride.
Okay.
So digital productization conceptually is happening at all levels, whether it be manufacturing industry, IoT in the manufacturing plants or in the assembly lines, is all productized, right? Even the inventory, for example, management, lot of products have come in between. Supply chain, lot of products have come in between. In the front end side, supporting customer onboarding, lot of products have come in between. So it is happening throughout. But the reach of these products is questionable.
Yeah.
So you can keep your product in your ecosystem, that's okay. But there's some product which are really excellent, they are across the barriers. Millions of people download it.
So in an Indian context, do you see any startup which would be the next product unicorn after the likes of Flipkart or Swiggy's and Zomato's? Where do you pinpoint your finger? Anything in finance or health sector?
Now, it's true. We are coming into a big revolution in the healthcare industry,
Okay.
which is going to work, going to help people in such a massive way. We are into the beta phase of that.
Okay.
And we are helping customer to understand quite early stage how this whole system is working with them.
Okay.
So the diagnosis is easy, the reach is easy, and the fear factor is very reduced. And then you will have connectivity with the precision. To who do the precision part after it has been diagnosed with that. So healthcare is one area I would see a real unicorn is going to come. And we are seeing in COVID now. If you are given the Arogya Setu app to a private player, you are already a unicorn player.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I remember.
So
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I would say not just retail. I would put my bet on the healthcare sector.
Okay.
To generate huge amount of a next unicorn in that sense.
Okay. So you talked about service sector not getting productized; it's remaining projectized. I mean, I saw an example at Adidas where I was working. They were launching a new subscription business in partnership with a company that they had bought, Fantastic, and they were trying to productize the entire hierarchy in terms of an agile delivery, wherein there were product managers for different verticals, be it search or be it user-generated content, so on, or customer support, so on and so forth. Do you see similar examples happening in India as well, maybe with startups or other service companies, something like Infosys or Wipro implementing something like this?
If you are customer facing,
Yeah,
where the customer comes and you have data exchange between the two,
yeah,
then it is getting productized. But there are many applications, many services which are not actually customer facing,
yeah,
which work for the internal organization efficiency.
yeah.
That may not go in for that.
Okay.
When is a data exchange from both sides and you want to understand how, and Nike or Adidas, the examples are your B2C organize. I mean to say these are two broad organizations. Everyone needs their product at some other level.
Yeah.
So in this situation, they are collecting the data for every from every customer, the way they feel and the type of product they want to launch. But in different, like automotive or like steel or like cement, you don't need such things.
Okay. So you mentioned data a lot many times, Vidyesh, and there are data privacy laws, especially GDPR has come into the European world. Indian government is working with their own data law, and there are already murmurs in US as to what will happen. China and Russia already do that. What do you feel? Should we be storing our own private specific data within the country, or should it be let free flow?
Absolutely, yes. Data is the, in the words of Mukesh Ambani, I really love the word. He said, data is the new colonization.
Okay. That's a very
And
big
it is
statement.
true. A very, very big statement. You see the app WeChat in China, it's almost do everything.
Yeah.
And we have seen in the last election how the data of the Indian citizens were sold to the Cambridge Analytics.
Yeah.
Right? And the banking sector, one of the big hesitant to go the banks on the cloud is the same thing. The data has to be within India. The financial frauds, all these things. So I strongly support data should be local to the country or to the state. And I think Amazon has now opened in India. Microsoft has opened in India. So even the government's own cloud called Migraj or Megdut, something like that, I'm not exactly sure
Okay.
of the name.
Okay.
That is also, I mean, that has to be local, but localization has to happen. We need data to be very local and secure.
So is it more restricted in terms of personally identifiable information, or maybe it's a social data too? Because if I have a social network, imagine Facebook, I have contacts sitting in Europe and Germany, and when I'm interacting, there is some level of information or data exchange. So how do you stop that kind of data transfer? You cannot probably limit that sort of information when I comment on something or I like some post. That should not be restricted. Only the anything which is specific to my health or personally identifiable information or banking information, those fields should be restricted. Nothing beyond that.
There are two aspects to it. You're absolutely right. When you are on a social platform which is global,
Yeah.
you can't restrict it.
Yeah.
Efficiency wise, you may support data center in different countries.
Yeah.
That's one aspect. Second
Yeah.
aspect, if you take instead of Facebook, take an example of Twitter, you have seen how the tweets are getting manipulated of certain people. Yeah, I am unable to express my freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So this should not happen.
Yeah.
It's a global. It is nothing related with my personal information or my banking or my health information. It is a freedom of speech platform by its own definition.
Yeah.
Right? It is not respected.
Yeah.
So such thing demands now you need to have a local solution, because you are manipulating the results of the whole the opinion of the larger set of this people of this country or another country in a different way, like elections. This demands you to have specific actions.
Since we are talking about something as controversial as the data law, there is another thing which has happened last year or last year. Digital tax that was brought by France, and they were taxing the big corporates with internet tax. OECD is working on a framework which will get applied on G7 countries or G8 countries, I believe. What's your take on something like that for India?
See, I would give a small example and come to it.
Okay.
I am a strong supporter of the French government to tax Google on the news, Google News. You cannot just put news content which somebody has worked, putting people and system in place, just read that by a robo and put on your website for people to read it in free. That should not be allowed. That should definitely be taxed.
Okay.
Right. And the type of, I mean to say the type of havoc, I will not take a name of this, but the way they have manipulated the shopping data, right? This definitely demands laws, very strict laws.
Okay.
People use your platform on trust. See, it is not, you should not manipulate what has been coming inside, but that is done irrespective of the laws. So they need to be punished. And here the tax comes.
Okay.
Because why? Tax is one of the things where you have regimented the framework.
Yeah.
How the things should behave and how it should be penalized.
Yeah.
So I'm case to case basis. I don't say yes or no over here, because we all need freedom, and digital is a great way to have freedom. But there's some aspects, some hegemonial tendencies practiced by few organizations need to be brought in the country.
Let's see what happens with digital tax. It's still far away, but the data law will surely come in I think another 1 year or so.
Data law is already there. Indian government is bringing on that. European has already brought.
Yeah.
Americans have already brought. Japanese have already brought. Data laws are there, but they need to be made more stringent like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the draft. Is it still has it become a law as yet? That's something
it has not.
It has not.
It has not yet.
Okay. So moving away from the work, the thing that you do with art and living, how has that helped you in the career that you run, which is very stressful, I believe, working on digital transformation projects of doing design thinking. How has that helped you in your career till date?
It has not made my work stressful.
Is it? Really?
Not at all. See, that's the whole point of bringing art of living in picture.
Okay.
That is art of living. It is not art in the living. It is art of living. So it is applied to each and every sector of our life.
Okay.
So the basic premise is that I would ask you a few questions in that case. A short question here.
Sure.
Are happy people seemingly more creative?
Possibly, yes.
Yes. Can happy people be more productive?
Yes.
Yes. Can happy people have more interpersonal communication skills?
Yes, surely.
And everybody wants it in working place, isn't it?
Yeah.
So so these are the foundational skills. Harvard HBR or Harvard University has published one report that 87% of what you need is your foundational skills, which are maybe soft or at the mind level.
Yeah.
And 13% is your subject matter expertise.
Yeah.
So 87% foundation is supporting your 13% verticals. So what art of living typically does is that it gives you inner peace, inner joy, inner happiness, ability, a perspective to stretch your hands when someone is in need, right? And at the same time, when you are stress-free, when you have a calmer mind, the effect of calm mind is that your intellect is sharp. And when you are stress-free and silent, you can experience that silence. You are creative. Look, I would give you a right away example. When the nature wants to recuperate itself, it has made us silent. Sit inside your house.
Yeah.
I am regenerating matter, recuperating. So same thing happens with each one of us. So creativity, Guruji says, comes out of silence.
Okay.
Come out of. So even Archimedes, if you say, when he worked, and then ran and went into the bathroom tab and said, then he says, Eureka.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's how it works.
That triggered one last question for you, Vidyesh. That is soft skills you mentioned, right? And they are playing a sort of a different roles in the times that we live in. We are living in an artificial intelligence world wherein a lot of jobs of future are being automated. What will remain with humans is some of these soft skills. What do you feel? What will these soft skills be that a human can rely on in the era of automation and AI?
I would say stability of mind, sharpness of intellect.
Okay.
more innovative, and more intuitive capabilities. And a human race will come out with different. Yes, we are changing. We are going to have a great and great speed. Speed is not going to reduce in life.
Yeah.
Automation is not going to reduce your life. New frontiers will come, which you have to scale with speed and automation. But at the core, to respond to your outside, to respond to the events and situation, people and circumstances outside, the core remains stability of mind, sharpness of intellect, innovative and intuitive abilities. And
Great.
that comes to art of doing courses.
Great, great insights today, Vidyesh. It's been a pleasure listening to all of this, and I'm sure our listeners will love some of it. If I get some feedback, I'll be happy to pass to you. Maybe
Definitely.
you might find some art of living lovers as well who might be interested in understanding some soft skills.
Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you and really love talking with you and answering different questions.
Sure, we'll touch base
We
again
like
in
to
the future on some other topic.
definitely.
Thank you,
Sure, definitely. Look
thank you,
forward for that. Thank
thank
you. Have a
you.
nice day. Stay
You,
home. Stay safe.
you too. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.